Okay, good morning. Okay, good morning. I guess I jumped on like 30 seconds early. Sorry about that. But I hope some of you, I see 8 of you are here. That's great. Good morning. I was on a call and I forgot and just got entangled in that call. So thank you for joining us this morning. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Put in the chat while we're waiting on everybody to get here. Put in the chat where you're calling from, like where you are today. I see Melinda's doing a great job. One of the things while we wake up the algorithms of Facebook, one of the things that we do is we tag the people that we'd love to join us in the moment, but we don't know their schedule. We don't know exactly where they are. So they might not be able to join us in the moment, but what happens on Facebook stays on Facebook. So, or what happens on YouTube stays on YouTube. So they can come back and watch this later. So tag them. Carol Garner is in Athens, Georgia. That's a good place right down the road. Yeah, I'm excited about this topic too. It's something that I've dealt with my entire journey in this business. And I thought it was kind of appropriate with Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday coming up this week that we talk about raising the dead. A lot of people are going to hear that topic spoken about in their church services this week. It's the foundational moment of Christianity. That the grave couldn't hold him in, but we're going to talk about that as a business principle. And I want to give us just a few minutes to ponder that. How are you guys? I have a question for you. How are you guys enjoying superfood versus capsules? I know our family, we're drinking more water because we got to pour our superfood powder in something. We can't wait for the next dose. So one of the huge benefits I believe from this, you'll never hear, never talk about, never see a statistic about, that is how much more water we're drinking just because we got Luminate and superfood powders to mix in with the water. So that's an amazing thing. But our special training today, we'll dive in. I know more people will join us as we go, and I think Beth is on the sidelines in the dugout. If you have a question or have a comment, Beth can probably put a link or answer a question. So while I'm talking, some of y'all can multitask better than me, but I know when I start doing a Zoom call like this or something, it's really hard for me to play with the chat and talk and stay focused and have all my technology work. So I'll let Beth run the chat. I'll get to some of your comments later. I see Robin in Park Hills, Missouri. Where is Brooklet, Georgia, Terry? Terry Cromley's in Brooklet, Georgia. I'm a native Georgian. I've never heard of Brooklet. I've heard of Brookhaven, but not Brooklet. So I'd love to know where that is. Yeah, we're all loving superfood. So let's talk about this dilemma here. And let me tell you why I picked this as our special training topic. Because the last 4 to 5 years, where just go back, when did COVID hit? Was that January of 2020? So we are almost 5 years behind, in the rears of the beginning of that. But something I feel like put a lot of people to sleep, put a lot of people in their graves, put a lot of people under a stone. And they're isolated, they're hiding. There's some people that literally, I think, if you look at the person that they were 5 years ago and the person that they are today, it appears like they still have their pajamas on. It appears like their ambitious thing for the day is, what's the new series on Netflix? Can y'all remember the day when that's what we did during COVID? We woke up and said, if you finish watching series 7 or whatever of some show that you found on Prime or Netflix. I mean, Netflix and YouTube and Prime, all those video shows, they were in their heyday, and all they did was jack up the prices, and we're suffering the consequences now because their little heyday's over because people want to get outside and not stare at screens anymore, for the most part. Or at least they want the freedom to do that. Screens became valuable. Our time online with this video communication like we're doing right now gave us a whole new place to educate and learn and connect. But we didn't like it when it was our only option. We like it now that it's one of our options, but we didn't like it when it was our only option. So this has made me think about this topic. And so one of my biggest faults, somebody says, okay, Curt, you and Lori had an amazing start in this business, but I know you hit some bumps. It wasn't all smooth sailing. And that's true. The people side of this business is the part to me that changes so much. Is that better on the microphone? I had the mic so far away. Sorry about that. The people part of this business is what changes so much. Let's process that for a minute. So have you ever, just put a raised hand up if you can answer this question like this has happened to you. Have you ever recruited somebody in this business? Or let's say you knew of somebody that if they sunk their teeth in, made a commitment, and went out to go find their 5 key people to become a national marketing director, that they had the relationships, the influence, the resources, everything needed to go out and make that happen. Did you know that if your phone rings and you're using your iPad on Zoom, it pops up on your iPad and on your screen? That was crazy. That was my buddy calling me back because I told him happy birthday and he was going to tell me happy birthday from yesterday. But so when you're recruiting that person and you can see the potential in them so much more than they see it in themselves. So that's kind of like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But I think we have some people that are under that rock that we would categorize them as no pulse maybe, or dead. But you know how good they were, so you want to bring them back. So you can either go out and find new, amazing life and give birth to a new person, a new customer, a new partner. And it's so refreshing. It's like dipping your water bottle in that mountain stream versus dipping it in a lake and deciding if it's safe to drink, and giving birth to that new person or raising the dead. Now, I'm not telling you that raising the dead is not a good option. Most of us are not up for what it takes to do that. It is because the dead can make you want to join them in their death place. They can pull you down. Let's call that place they're in a pit. They're down in the pit. And you're trying to get them out of the pit. Well, they can suck you down in there and want you to join them in their pity party. So you got to make some decisions here. One of the questions I think we have to deal with is as we're recruiting and building a business, which one is easier? Is it easier to go out and share superfood with somebody brand new and tell them how amazing this is? Here, try this, share the sample. Or are you trying to go back and connect with somebody that dropped off the planet for some reason? I don't know. Is it easier for you to take someone who no longer believes in themselves versus finding someone who has a major need and desire in their life and all they need is the right vehicle to plug into, and you're the one delivering the vehicle and you've given them birth and new life and a new path to the life they want to live? I'm not saying that is a right or a wrong, because I had a conversation with someone recently that's an amazing in Georgia. They're an amazing person in our business, had huge success, but they fell off the wagon. COVID, family crisis, relocation, lots of different things. And it was almost like they disappeared, literally. Do y'all have anybody that you feel like since COVID that maybe they were like ever present with you? They were your buddy running the race and they just like, for all practical purposes, you think Elon Musk like vaporized them with one of his new technological machines or something. They're gone. It feels that way. Some people, to me, it really feels like they're gone. They're not, but they're living a different life than they lived before. It's very strange. But I don't know which one's easier, but I know giving birth is going to produce more results. You might bring on the dead person, but unless you literally bring them back to that new freshness of life, if they still want to hang around as a zombie, they're just going to drag you down. Okay. I think of Tim Elmore's example. We're going to get to some meat here in just a minute. I think of Tim Elmore's example of rivers and streams. Sometimes he says rivers and floods. And what's the difference? They're both bodies of water. the biggest difference is one's moving, and if it's a flood, it's just seeping over the banks. It's a pond that's maybe overrunning its banks. But the river is, you can see how that river is curved. The water has shaped a path to its destination. That river knows where it's going. Kind of like a person in our business is really tracking to get to NMD. They know they need their 5 key leaders. They're putting them on board. They're headed in that direction, and they're on a train. They're not going to stop. So that river is new, fresh water driving it towards its destination of that mouth into the ocean. A flood just kind of goes stagnant and just creeps wherever it might and just wipes out what's, floods and washes over what's in its way. It has no sense of direction. It just kind of oozes everywhere. Do you want to be a river flowing in the right direction, or do you want to just be flooding? And sometimes I feel like if your business feels like it's the majority of what you're doing is raising the dead, it kind of feels like a flood. It feels like stagnant water. If the majority of what you're doing is paving your path towards the goal and destination that you want, it feels so fresh and renewed and vigorous. And so we have to stop and pause and evaluate. You've got to decide, not that you do one and not the other, but you got to have some level of balance. Like, let's say if I was talking to, I see Eleanor's on here. Eleanor Hickey says that Brooklet is near Guyton. Is that Guyton? I don't know where Guyton is either. So that didn't help me much. Brooklet's near Guyton, Georgia. I don't know. Anyway, keep working on it. You'll name a town that I've heard of before. Give me a clue if Brooklet's in North Georgia or South Georgia. Maybe I'll figure it out. So let's say I'm talking to Carol Garner. She's on here. I can pick on her, and if she gets mad at me, we'll kiss and make up later. So let's just take Carol. And Carol's got some people on her team, and let's say some of them are like, to her, they feel like they're under a stone. They've disappeared. They were like jamming, and they're not anymore. And then she's got some opportunities for new stuff. I mean, I know she's told me she's in the chamber. She's got some great contacts there. She's in tennis leagues. The city of Athens, Georgia, has nothing going on. She's got a gold mine down there where she is. So what does Carol do? How does she decide? So if I was doing a coaching call with Carol, we would sit down, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at her people inventory. Okay. So I talk a lot about, and there's a lot of training on my website about a concept called relational capital. And, Carol Lee says it's near Carol says it's near Statesboro. Okay. I know where Statesboro is. We were in a 7-car pileup in Statesboro. All right. Eleanor Springfield didn't help, but Statesboro, I got it. Carol's got me on the right track. So, Carol, we're going to do an inventory of her people, her relational capital. And one of the things that would really help you guys, and this is going to help you look at what dead is capable of being raised, and where are the holes in your business where only giving birth and new life is going to get you where you want to go. So I would love, we've got data and sheets and stuff from the corporate office. That's great. All the PVC reports and data we can get out of there to see our numbers. But I want a visual. I would like for each of you guys sometime this week when you get off this call, maybe you get a big piece of paper, or maybe you use your iPad. If you ask me to do this, I would use my Apple Pencil and my iPad because I can make it small, blow up the screen. But you're going to need a piece of paper. Maybe it's one of those big 11 by 17, artist drawing tablet size pieces of paper. Or maybe you get a piece of poster board. I don't know. But it depends on how small you want to write. I want you to draw your organization out. Now, if you have a big, huge organization, you don't have to draw out every little bitty distributor 10 levels deep. But I want to see the major structure. I want to see the legs in your business. I want to see the qualifiers. I would like to have every qualifier, or I would think everybody that's more than half qualified, I'd like to see them have a circle and represented on your family tree of your business. And then we're going to have this conversation. So Carol and I would sit down and talk about, Carol, tell me about Sam Jones. Tell me about Susie Smith. Tell me about, and we're talking about all these people. Well, How close are they to being qualified? What can we do to help them? Um, they're a sales coordinator. What can we do? Tell me, have you looked at lately at the worksheets to see how close they are to QSSC? So we talk about all these people. Then we talk about this person. Carol would say, this person used to have, a booming business, PB, POB, COVID hit, life hit, and they're under a big rock. I mean, they may not be dead, but the pulse is low, And so and whoever you identify, they don't have to be that bad, but whoever's on this list now, your snapshot of your business, that it's going to take a raise the dead kind of effort to bring them back. Some of them, that's exactly what you need to go do. Some of them are so worth it. They just got, maybe they've never even logged into the new website and figured out when we switched from the old platform to the new, they missed the tech boat. They didn't, and it was a strenuous process. Okay. That technology changeover that we went through, and we're still actually going through to get to the house that they're building for us to live in with our technology. It's not done yet. And there's some people, and I talked to one yesterday, it's like, Curt, I didn't want to bother you. I was embarrassed that I wasn't caught up in understanding all the technology and everything that's going on. And they literally, when I finally connected with them, they had not reached out to me because they were embarrassed that they just were so far behind. They'd gotten under their rock long enough that coming out was more fearful than staying under the rock. That's sad, But that person is so excited now when they realized they weren't bothering me, and the fact that they were under a rock was not the abnormal thing in our world today. It's more normal than abnormal. There's so many that 4 years of national leadership that just disappeared. What it was no presence of any leadership. The COVID, what do they call that? The long haul effects of COVID. I think they're physical long haul effects of COVID, but I think they're mental, emotional, and almost like depressive anxiety, long-term repercussions that there's some people that I know, they don't know how amazing and productive and contributing to life with zeal they were compared to themselves now. I wish some people could have a recall of, let's go look at yourself for a week in 2019. Let's see what that looked like. And let's look at yourself with a hidden camera right now in 2025. What happened to you? Where is your energy? Where is your zeal for life? Where is your ambition? It's very sad. And so you get behind the 8 ball, you get to a place where you really aren't caught up and you don't feel current. And all of a sudden admitting that and coming out from under your rock, it's an ego thing. It's a self-esteem thing. It's a shame kind of thing. And that's what I've been finding out is there's some people that they so badly want you to grab them and pull them out of the grave, but they don't want to tell you they're still in the grave. So we got to go through that list, take that snapshot of your organization and see who we need to save. And then let's look at where you are. Let's just pretend that Carol is a QNMD. She's not, she's an NMD. Pretend she's a QNMD. And pretend she's a QNMD and she's 3 sales coordinator legs, 2 in POB. She needs 2 more sales coordinator legs to reach that title of NMD. So we have to decide how much of what she needs to hit her next target is present. So we know she has 2. One's not in POB and she needs 2 more. So she knows her current inventory, she has 2. How many of what she yet needs can come from her inventory of cadavers and people under rocks that we could resurrect, that we know how amazing they are, and they seem to have a desire but don't know how to come out of the pit? That's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight on our big momentum call, Best Year Ever, is how do you regain the momentum you lost? It's going to be really good. And then the next thing is, who do we need to go get new? Which holes are going to require new life? Which holes are going to require us to give birth to somebody new? Instead of them being present in our existing business or in our deceased inventory. Okay. So we got to figure that out. So raising the dead that doesn't mean that shriveled up leaf right there, it's probably going to fall by the wayside, but there's new birth right next to it. There's new life right next to it. And maybe you can get, with sometimes, I mean, we've all seen it even with our tower gardens in the past. When something runs out of water, sometimes it's salvageable, and sometimes it's been without water long enough, there's no hope. And that's what you're trying to decide with who is salvageable in your inventory of cadavers, who wants to have a pulse again. Some want to stay under the rock. It's very sad, but there's a group that want to have pulse again. I just spent some time around my new grandbaby who had to have open heart surgery. She's wonderful. She's beautiful. Her name is Anna Claire. Thanks for all of you that prayed. But just seeing that precious new life come into the world, and you begin to pray and see a year down the road, 2 years down the road, the potential of this child, of what they're going to deliver and give to this earth. I mean, that newness and freshness. It's a new, fresh start for that family. It's a new, fresh start for a little baby. It's a new, she had open heart surgery and she got new life because her blood got fixed. The routing of her blood and her plumbing is getting fixed. And so that new life was very real, evident in front of me in the last 2 weeks. And it's so real in our business too. When you sponsor somebody, you're going to hear Jessie Lepicki talk tonight about what it was like when she birthed this new person. It was part of her restoration to momentum. But I believe the girl's name is Jennifer. And she's going to talk about when Jennifer came to the table and how they've partnered together. But the joy that she experienced of giving new life, giving birth to somebody that filled that void, in their life. So, giving birth, we can make that happen. Sometimes raising the dead requires a miracle, literally, in the case of what's going to happen on Easter Sunday, Resurrection Day. But it seems to require some kind of divine intervention with some of the people that just refuse to come out from under the rock. So you have a choice. Now, I'm not saying they're not good people and they're not worth it, but those people can rob you of your business. You can get to where you're so waiting on the dead to come back for their pulse to be restored that you let them drag you down. I've always used the analogy of a train. And I feel like if you can follow me here for a minute, you're on a train, you're the conductor, you're in the front, you're steering this train, you're adding cars to it with momentum, and you are headed to National Marketing Director. That's the destination of your train. That's where the tracks are going to take you. But as you're going, you're trying to build your train to your 5 sales coordinators and get your team ready to get you to National Marketing Director, and you make stops. There's trains make stops along the way. When you make stops, you lose momentum, you slow down, but you refuel, you reconnect, you bring on new people. And what we have opportunity to pull up to a stop, and we kind of slow down. We don't come to a complete stop and just lose all our momentum, but we see Sally, and Sally's awesome. Sally is like head of the chamber, top realtor, president of the PTA. I mean, if she decided to do this, it'd be amazing. Sally, come on, join me. We're headed to National Marketing Director. You can do this too. Come join me. This product's amazing. It's the most researched product in the world. Jump on board. Well, my dog, I've got to pick him up at the vet this afternoon. My son has a piano lesson, and we're redecorating our home. We're getting new curtains today, or I would. Now, you're so excited about Sally joining you. Are you going to park your train and wait on the vet, the new curtains, the piano lesson, and stop your train to wait and see if you can convince Sally? Or Or are you going to say, Sally, that's awesome. I hope you have a great piano lesson and your curtains look beautiful. I'm headed to National Marketing Director. I can't stop my train. That's where I'm going, but I'll swing back by here again. If you want to join me, if you're ready, then great. But I just wanted you to join me because you and I would have a great time doing life on life together in this business. But I can't let what you've got going on stop me right now because I'm focused and I'm headed to my destiny. That's what can happen when you're trying to resurrect someone that's not ready to get resurrected. All you got to do is have conversations and find the ones that are ready for you to help them have a new life. And you just keep talking to them until you find them. But you don't let the ones that are maybe drag you down. I'd rather have a no than I had a maybe 10 times because the maybe 10 times just wears me out. So there's if you're not really comfortable with this, scan this QR code. I'd love for you to go watch the workshop that I did on pieces to peace. How do you find the 5 people to help you make a life? How do you go find those 5 people? There's a huge lesson in there. It's about finding somebody that's willing to partner with you and embrace your message versus somebody you got to drag. You don't want to drag people. You want people that are as excited as you are, and they're out there. You just have to find them, okay? All right, now let's wrap this up here with a bow and give you some meat on the bones. I hope you all are as in tune as I am with the Strive for 5, okay? Strive for 5, you get 5 new superfood customers on the auto reorder, the 4-month, and you get a $500 bonus. And you have until April 30th to do this. If you did it in March, you can do it again, okay? And get it twice. But a brand new person's going to get just shy of $800. If you're a sales coordinator already and getting your commissions on top of it, you're going to be near $1,000, okay? I'm not even trying to give you an exact number. I'm just telling you approximately. So I want you to do that. You've got 2 weeks. We're also big time news right now. It's the 1-year anniversary of Illuminate. So it's 20% off for 3 days. And then there's a coupon you can share that our customers are getting in their box or delivered to them. And they can also get 20% off anytime this month, and you can use that coupon. So just make sure you're taking advantage of those 2 things. As you're talking to people about new life, share with them how exciting it is that our company does these things for us. If you're talking to them about resurrection and coming back and getting out from under their stone, use these same tools for that too, okay? And these are, just pictures of the superfood. Love the new colors. There are 2 flyers. The one on the left is showing you from a partner perspective what the buying options are and what the PV is. The one on the right is the customer version that doesn't show the PV, just shows them the different pricing options. And then we've got something coming up that I want you to know about, because one of the things when you draw this organizational chart and you look at it, you need to let people know what the options are. Like tomorrow night, the 17th, Stacy Whitmer and Katrina Goodwin, she got like 30 superfood customers in 24 hours. It's crazy. She got so excited about it. And Stacy's our East Coast Regional Director. That's tomorrow night, April 17th, okay? And then I'm so excited about this tonight. I mean, I'm just telling you that when I'm putting stuff together, sometimes I'm like panicked that it's not going to be good and I've got to pull all the resources together. Tonight, I'm so excited about this call tonight. I'm going to pull you up a picture of the image of the flyer. Okay, there it is. These 3 ladies, Brittany Myers, Jessie Lepicki, and Catherine Lee. I'm going to call one of them a Sherpa. I'm going to call one of them a warrior and one of them a sage with the most wisdom. But they are going to cover how do you get momentum if you've never had it. Maybe your self-esteem's low. You've always wanted to get that momentum in your business, but you've never been able to put a stake in the ground and get that snowball to the top of the hill and really reap the benefits of momentum. There's a message for you. There's a message for those of you that have had momentum and you're like a shark who tastes blood in the water and goes onto a feeding frenzy. I have to reestablish momentum. I have to get it back. There's a story and a lesson for you, those of you that have lost momentum and want to get it back, there's a warrior in Jessie Lepicki. She's going to talk about in detail what she did to go from $4,000 a month. Her business shrunk because of COVID, health crisis, and a baby, down to $800 a month, and how within a year she got it back to $5,000 a month. That's how you reestablish momentum. You're going to hear about that tonight. Catherine Lee is going to give you her sage wisdom on what is momentum. How do you assess whether you have it? What are the obstacles that you need to get out of the way? And then I want to talk to you about, I get excited because we just had spring football games and there's all kind of crazy news. Even, Masters weekend and spring football. What's better, Nothing in Georgia. But in my quiet time this past week, there's a principle and a message in Scripture I'm going to share with you tonight. And it's really about when you want to establish momentum, the bottom line is you have to decide if you're going to play offense or defense. If you play defense, it's that scarcity mindset. When that's all you're doing, you're just protecting what you have and you're trying to manage. But when you play offense, you've decided you want to work from an abundant mindset. And that call is tonight at 7. So I hope you can join us. I'm super excited about it. So the details are there. Maybe Beth could put the Zoom link for you to join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, okay? Blue Ridge Boot Camp. We're over a third sold out. I don't know that I've got the flyer handy for that. Let me see if I can pull that up for you real quick, because I would love for you to see. You're gonna see through my photo album. That's okay. I have nothing to hide here, but I do need to find that flyer. I know Beth sent it to me. Let me find it. Oh my goodness, where is that thing? Hold on. I have patience if you do. Just a minute. Let me find it. Okay. Beth, can you text me the Blue Ridge flyer with the headshots? If you can, not. If not, we can get it to you later. But it's probably on blueridgebootcamp.com. That's where you can register, put your name in for an email. Let's see. If you go to I might be able to go to blueridgebootcamp.com and show you that picture real quick. Let me see. Multitasking here. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Bingo. All right. There we go. Come on. And let's see the flight. That's how you can sign up. There's the details. It's July 18th through 20th. Okay. The flyer's not right there, but that's okay. We will find that flyer and get that to you guys if you want to see that. But go to blueridgebootcamp.com. You can register. We have amazing speakers. I mean, I'm just telling you, we have some amazing speakers. We've got Stacy Whitmer. We have Skylar Stephenson, our amazing Vice President of Sales. We have Julie Herbst. We have Rhonda Hubbard. We have Jill Wagner. We have, let me think of who else. I'm leaving somebody out. I'm drawing a blank. I'm going to be speaking. Oh my goodness. And there's somebody major I'm leaving out and I can't remember who it is. I'll come back and tell you. I forgot, but I can't remember all the speakers. Well, let me see. I'm not going to worry about it right now, but their speakers are amazing. And we're going to have an amazing boot camp and a party in that weekend in July. So come join us. And then these are the calls coming up. This is the Best Year Ever event tonight. And then our Finish Strong for the month of April is next week on the 23rd. And starting, this is really exciting. I'm excited about this too. The call tonight and this too. I'm going to help you reestablish momentum in your business the first 5 weekdays of May. So May 1st, 2nd, which is Thursday, Friday, and then 5th, 6th, and 7th, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're not going to do Saturday, Sunday just because everybody's got distracted weekends. At 10:30 a.m., we're going to come together every day for 5 days to help you do things and put in place things that will reestablish momentum for your business during the month of May, okay? More details to come, but if you want to try and put 10:30 a.m. Eastern, block that out on your calendar. You can join us live those 5 days, and then it'll be recorded too. But I think being together live, we're going to have participation, and you'll be able to ask questions and stuff too. So that's going to happen in May. And that's really all that I've got. You can our podcast. We're having great viewership of our podcast. Trey, Bowden, and I. It's called Life. It's What You Make It. In my book's called Make a Life, Not Just a Living. And the podcast is about making the life you desire happen, not just sitting back and letting life affect what you get. I mean, the life around you. So you can find that on any of the podcast tools, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or you just go to makealife.com/podcast and it'll link you to any of those sources. Indie worship, Babby Mason, amazing Southern gospel worship leader, musician. It's going to be awesome. She's going to be doing our worship in Indy. More details about that to come. And I am texting you every Monday morning. Beth helps me come up with a message that's kind of like just a little bitty cattle prod to wake you up and get you started for the day. And you can stop whenever you want to, but it's just to hold you accountable to grab your week and be intentional. Don't just let the week unfold, because it'll unfold in a way that's not desirable and not accomplishing your goals. And if you need to find me, I got on all the platforms early enough. I'm just at Curt Beavers anywhere. And it was just a blessing and pleasure to be with you guys for a few minutes. But if you can join us tonight at 7 o'clock, we're going to bless your socks off. Okay. Have an awesome day. Thanks for joining. And let's make this year the best year ever. Okay. See ya.